Hello and welcome. This is Fireworks. I am Bukola Samuel Wemimo. Fireworks is your preferred hard talk interview program that brings you the news behind the news. Kaduna politics is yet again in view as we look at the actors. Governor Nasir El-Rufai has been known to say that the PDP in Kaduna is non-existent and the only opposition he has is that within the APC. So we look at the opposition within the APC and we ask, in doing that, why would a house once united become divided against itself? This and more after the break. Stay with us. Thank you for staying tuned to Fireworks. My guest today is the chairman of the Restoration Group in Kaduna and a media mogul, owner of Liberty Television and Radio in Kaduna, Alhaji Tijani Ramalan. Thank you for your time, sir.
Thank you, Bukola.
So tell us, what is the Restoration Group all about?
Thank you very much. And the Restoration Group consists of members of the, mostly of members of the APC in Kaduna State. And we are all out as members of the Restoration Group to ensure that certain things that are being done, which are against the interests of the party, are rectified. And we are also there to ensure that we offer quality advice, constructive criticisms to the government of Kaduna State under Malam Nasir El-Rufai as to run the government in line with the party constitution, manifesto, and the restoration agenda, which we all, including Malam, put together during the election. That's why we decided to form the Restoration Group. So
who are the members of the Restoration Group? Can you name a few?
Yeah, well, we have Professor Ankofa, who's the secretary of the Restoration Group. We have Hussein Dambo from the southern part of Kaduna, who is the vice chairman. We have so many senior members of the party. Mikaya Takwat, who is a member, Barrister Jafar Abbas from Zaria, so many of us.
So how come we also have the Akida Group?
Well, the Akida Group is a different ball game. They are also called APC Akida. And they are mostly senior members of the party, critical stakeholders of the party, who have been having some problems with the governor before the primaries of 2015 and after. But we in the Restoration Group, we have been with the governor right from day one. From the day we convinced him.
But you're not exactly with the governor anymore.
No, we are with the governor. But you see, the problem we're having, the governor is the problem of the party in Kaduna State. Because he runs the party just like an emperor. And I think there's something wrong. We're playing party politics. And in party politics, you must carry the party along. But in Kaduna State today, the governor controls the party from the government house. He has just about 5 people working with him, taking major decisions of the party. And most of these decisions are against the interest of the party.
Senator Shehu Sani was right when he said on this platform that you have a party structure controlled by the governor, engineered by the governor, every other thing else by the governor. He was right.
Unfortunately, that is the situation we have in Kaduna State, so and by extension in other parts of the country, because the governors have become some kind of leaders of the party, and this kind of thing, I think, has been on right from Obasanjo days till today. Whether it is in the APC or in the PDP, the governors are the ones that are controlling the party. But we in Kaduna State are saying, no, we must come back and follow the party's supremacy.
So whether it's the Akida or the Restoration, you have one thing in common. You are united in grievance against the governor.
Well, we in the Restoration,
misery
we are a pressure group. We are a pressure group. You see, in the case of Akida, yes, some of them were aspirants, gubernatorial aspirants. They contested with him. But in the case of Restoration Group, we are part and parcel of the members of the party that put Malam Nasir El-Rufai and the restoration agenda in place. So I don't even consider ourselves as opposition. I consider ourselves as pressure group within the APC.
Whether it's Akida or Restoration, misery loves company. Am I correct?
Well, you may say that.
So you were one of those who brought Governor Nasir El-Rufai into the APC and supported him through the primaries until he won the election?
Yeah, we supported him right from the period he indicated his interest.
Absolutely.
Because he came in without any structure. Don't forget, Malam Nasir was just an Abuja politician. In fact, we were together with him in the PDP when he was a minister. I mean, he had to come back to Kaduna to get party ticket. So he came into Kaduna without any structure. He used the structure of some of us that have been on ground to get where he is today. In fact, to get the party ticket, which was very important at that time.
So where did the understanding go? How did it fly out of the house?
That's why I say, if there's a problem in the house, the leader of the house takes the blame. Because he came into government and he decided to alienate virtually every critical stakeholder that contributed. In fact, at a point, over 95% of members of the APC 2015 campaign council for Nasrul El-Rufai fell apart with him because of the way that he does his things. He doesn't carry the party along. He's been doing certain things that are injurious to the party. Demolitions here and there, sacking here and there. For God's sake, we are playing politics. He may be right in some of the things he's doing, but the timing is very wrong. And some of us say, no, Mr. Your Governor, we all have a stake in bringing you to that seat. Sit down and take advice. Because at the end of the day...
So what opposition would you like to occupy in the party structure, for instance?
Opposition?
Or are you seeking, are you desirous of an office within his cabinet?
No, I was the chairman of the APC.
Joined forces with
I was the chairman of the APC caucus
with those who oppose him?
No, I was the chairman of the APC caucus in Kaduna State. And I believe you know the position of a party caucus chairman in the state. I represent those I can term as unappointed and unelected, ordinary party members. So it's not a situation of fighting with Malam. It's a situation of getting Malam Nasrul El-Rufai to do the proper thing, which he has refused to do so far. But we hope and pray.
So you would rather determine who gets what as chairman of the caucus of the party, but he would not allow you do that?
No, it's not like that. What we are trying to say, as a party, if certain decisions are taken, the party must be carried on board, because he is there today to execute the party manifesto and party programs, which he's not doing. He's doing it personally, he has his own clique that run the government, and people of Kaduna State are saying no, the party are saying no.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
As the state government said in one of your exchanges, which we happen to...
Exchanges with which group now?
With the state government, which we happen to chance upon in one of the reports of the mainstream media. Could your opposition to the government stem from a submitted claim for 89 million naira as 50% of the consultancy fee due to your company, that's ATA Communications, for the digitization of the Kaduna State Media Corporation, awarded you by the previous administration, but careful scrutiny of your documents forwarded to support the claim revealed that you did not have a valid contract with the Kaduna State government. And the Kaduna State government says because you were able to convince the government that you have spent so and so amount in trying to get the contract in the first place, it had paid you a certain sum. So what else do you want?
Well, see, that's part of the misinformation I think the officials around the governor have been putting out to the public. Though the matter is in court, and if you can go to get the court records, you would find that it's very clear that the court has ruled that I have a valid contract with the Kaduna State government. And this contract was given to me during the government of late Patrick Yakowa. And when Malam Nasrul El-Rufai came, he decided to cancel the contract or to say that I don't have a contract. And that was the crux of the matter. I said, Your Excellency, I have a contract. It's a different ball game. If you have your friends, your family friends you want to give the contract to. But please, I have a valid contract. Not until you terminate that contract remains valid. In fact, this media man went on air to say that I don't have a contract. And I was so annoyed, I had to take the matter to court because he was feeding the public with the wrong information. And I'm happy to report that the court has ruled I have a valid contract. So that is the case, and the matter is in court.
Well, the court has ruled, so I would not want us to pursue this conversation further.
Better for you.
Watching fireworks, I've been talking with Alhaji Tijani Ramalan. We're getting to understand better why we have opposition within the All Progressives Congress in Kaduna State. There'll be more questions for him after this break. Stay with us. Thank you for staying tuned to Fireworks. If you've been following us, we're seeking a better understanding of the politics in Kaduna State, especially between the ruling party and the opposition within the ruling party. But we're getting to understand that it really is a pressure group that is put together to check what is termed or perceived to be the excesses of the government, particularly in how the party structure is run within the state. I hope that I've captured that succinctly. Let's move forward now. If indeed it is a pressure group that has the interests of the Kaduna State government at heart, let me ask.
Has the interests of the party at heart.
The party at heart.
In power.
And Kaduna State, I believe, in its entirety.
Of course, that's it.
Yeah.
The party in power.
Yes. So if indeed that is the case, why write a letter of petition against the governor to the presidency condemning the sack of the teachers in Kaduna State?
What's wrong with that? The president is the leader of the party.
You started together from the beginning. You brought this man, you said he didn't have a party structure in Kaduna. You brought him and you supported him from primary stage up until he became governor. So it's beyond an assumption that there is an understanding. You are comrades in the same cause. So why couldn't you sit down to discuss this and find an enduring solution that would be in the interest
we have tried all
the teachers in Kaduna and indeed the entire Kaduna State?
We have tried all that is humanly possible to always advise the governor privately. When I was the chairman of the Kaduna APC State Caucus, I go out of my way. Wee hours of the night, talk to the governor. In fact, to even see the governor at the point was a problem, but we endured. So for us to have come out and bring the matter before Mr. President, the president is the leader of the party. I don't see anything wrong. And don't forget, Kaduna State is a very important state as far as APC is concerned, both at the national level and at the zonal level. We are perhaps the second or third as far as voting power is concerned. We gave Mr. President 1.2 million votes. And by the grace of God, we intend to increase that by almost another 50% in the next election. But we felt, at the rate Malam Nasir El-Rufai is going as a maximum ruler in Kaduna State, we need to call the attention of Mr. President on some of the bad policies he's doing. Because some of these people that are being affected, like I said earlier, some of the things Malam is doing might be good, but timing is so important in a 4-year tenure. And these are things that he was supposed to have done at the takeoff or in the second term. But at this crucial time, and somebody is telling you that the PDP is dead in Kaduna State, that is kukamboo.
You are the owner of Liberty Radio
Yes.
and TV here in Kaduna.
Yeah.
If you had incompetent duty continuity announcers,
Yes.
newscasters, engineers, broadcast engineers, do you require the permission of their parents or anyone else to sack them and replace them with competent people?
Oh, I don't know what you are trying to, what analogy are you trying to draw up here? If I have staff, I'm the chief executive of that organization, I have a board. Okay? And if something goes beyond me, I take it to the board. And this is exactly what we did with the case of Kaduna State. I consider Mr. President as the chairman of the board because he's the leader of the party. And the earlier they take certain actions on how to stop Malam from going ahead with some of his anti-people's policy and anti-party policies in the best interest of the party, the better they do that. Or else we're going to have a real rough time in the 2019
Let's understand
election.
it from your own perspective.
Yes.
What is anti-people about
I'm sure you heard,
sacking
you've been hearing
21,000
about
teachers and replacing
Look,
with 25,000 who are being scrutinized
Bukola,
currently?
I don't want to go
What
into
is
details.
anti-people? So
Look,
if you look
for
at it
God's sake,
critically, it's not necessarily about the budget, but
that is an area,
more about competence.
I agree with you. That's about competence. And also, don't forget the human angle. Let's go back to Memory Lane during the government of Umaru Yar'Adua. Didn't he buy peace with the people of Niger Delta? Till tomorrow, President Buhari inherited the stipends or the allowance being given to the people of Niger Delta so that our economy doesn't suffer. For God's sake, these people are citizens of Kaduna State. Yes, some of them are very incompetent. Why can't he give some kind of human face? In Sokoto State, they had similar problem. In fact, most of the northern states will have this problem. But instead of Malam just to sit down in the government house to say he has sacked 23,000 without getting them an alternative, whatever number. So many people have been sacked, including the local government. So what we're trying to...
But the Kaduna state government says the late Patrick Yakowa-led government also sacked 4,000 teachers.
I was not part of Yakowa's government. I'm talking of the government that I was part and parcel, trying to serve people that have votes, that have dependents, and we're going back to meet them. I think some of these things must have human face. Yes, if people are incompetent, there are other ways you can use them. And this, I believe, the government should explore.
What other areas of the policy being implemented by the Kaduna El-Rufai-led government do you have reservations about?
Like demolition houses left and right? For God's sake. That is very inhuman action taken by the government. Some of them today, they've lost their lives simply because somebody somewhere just sat down, decided to demolish people's houses without thinking of even compensation. And I think that's one aspect that really puts me off. Because where are the people that are around with these people day and night? Why not in the government house? People come to us, they cry to us. Is this what you people have come to us to beg to put Malam there? We need to come and demolish our houses? I think that is also...
But Malam El-Rufai did the same in Abuja when he was FCT minister.
No, that was Abuja.
And today, visitors to Abuja say that Abuja is well planned and they commend, you know, the layout of the city.
For God's sake, that's Abuja. He worked under Obasanjo as the president. He's the governor of Kaduna State. He swore an oath to protect the people of Kaduna State. Yes, if certain areas need to be demolished, fine, it can be demolished, but not this mass demolition that is taking place. And again, there are areas that where he was supposed to have demolished, he couldn't even dare to because people there are ready to give me a raw time. Why must he be targeting the poor masses only in terms of demolition? I think that's a double standard in terms of the ways and manners Malam Nasir El-Rufai is demolishing the poor people's homes in Kaduna State. And I think that's the area I want him to come to terms and see how he can compensate those guys, because really many of them were given those houses by a sitting government. Will you tell me Yakowa was not the governor of Kaduna State? Will you tell me Ramalan Yaro was not the governor of Kaduna State? They gave out these CFOs only for Malam Nasir El-Rufai, a man elected by the popular votes of Kaduna State, to come out overnight and start demolishing people from Zaria to Kaduna. That was very cruel. And I think there's something wrong with that he needs to rectify. I'm talking as a party member. He's in government, but I'm talking as a party member because my party is hot. And not until he comes back and retracts his step, I can tell you we have a big job to get him either re-elected or put the party back in the government house.
If the opposition, the APC, within the APC family in Kaduna State, you're at daggers drawn, especially the leaders of the party who are supposed to help drive the party to victory. If you're at daggers drawn, what are we expected of the APC? What should be expected of the APC in Kaduna in 2019? The PDP may just well carry the day. Are you worried?
If Malam wants it, that is rather unfortunate because that's been selfish. Because like I said, he's the leader of the party, he's the governor, but he's creating all this problem within the party. How can you imagine a party today, Kaduna State doesn't have a substantive chairman? Substantive chairman. We don't have in Kaduna State. We don't have members of the working committee of the APC in Kaduna State. At the national level, Kaduna has no voice. We have only Malam voice. He's the governor of Kaduna State. He's the chairman of the party in Kaduna State. He's the member of the National Working Committee in Kaduna State. He's a member of board of trustee. For God's sake, this is a party that requires everybody. In fact, one of the problems I had with him after the election was on how to select whoever is going to be the minister from Kaduna State. I called him and said, Excellency, we thank God we have won. This is the right time to reach out to the people of Southern Kaduna. It has been a tradition in Kaduna State. Once if a governor comes from one part, the minister comes from the other part. But today, the minister is his sister. She's his sister. The special advisor to the president is his in-law. So that's our quarrel. This is a government of family and friends. And family and friends cannot give him Kaduna State, for God's sake.
And to that, he also has a fine, well-prepared response to you. You wonders why you should be concerned about where the people who occupy critical posts in Kaduna State are concerned. We must where they come from, rather.
Yeah.
He says you are originally from Nasarawa State.
I'm from Nasarawa State, yes. I'm Nigerian.
You're not from Kaduna. And that you have once taken up a post, an appointment in River State in your
earlier I was the governor's
career sojourn.
That's right.
So why should it matter?
It matters because we are talking of people who will represent Kaduna State at the federal level.
What if these people who are occupying this post are delivering on good governance, on the promises of the APC? Are they delivering on
good governance? Let me ask you. Are they? They are delivering to Malam El-Rufai and partners only, not to the people of Kaduna State.
That's subjective.
And that's our quarrel.
That's subjective.
I'm telling you, go and ask every party member in Kaduna State. Today, we have a minister that doesn't know anybody in the party. She doesn't relate to anybody in Kaduna State. We have a special advisor who's his in-law. He always knows Malam and Malam's family. We have people that Malam has nominated, and today they are holding very key position in the federal government of Nigeria. In fact, today, Malam controls very important economic sectors of this country. Not for the people of Kaduna State, but to himself. The port sector and the communication sector. He handles, for God's sake, this is a party.
But this is also a man who has appointed someone who is not even from Kaduna,
not
from the north,
who
is from the southwestern part of this country.
Who?
And doesn't that say something?
Tell me who?
Doesn't that say something about his being liberal, his magnanimity, his non-discriminatory status against ethnicity
or religion?
Person?
That is his personal friend. You're talking of Jimmy Lawal. Jimmy Lawal is his boy. Of course, we all know the artisan of Jimmy Lawal with the failed bank.
Would you rather have your own sister occupy that position, or your own personal friend, or even you in the first place?
Of course,
before you can be satisfied about his approach to governance.
Repute, of integrity. If you can bring somebody, we have Yorubas in Kaduna State, we have Imbos in Kaduna State, we have friends across the Niger. Why must he be his business partner that will come and occupy as an alternate governor of Kaduna State? Because he does everything. And it's not that he's doing things to the best interest of the people of Kaduna State. He's doing to the best interest of some personal interests. And that's what we are going to fight. We'll continue fighting.
So you are resigned to the absence of any possibility of reconciliation before 2019?
Reconciliation is important. And that is an area where I think the leadership of the party at the national level must come first. Because at the rate we are going, and it's rather unfortunate that the governors have pocketed the party leadership at the national level. And if they don't do anything, and they look the other way, and allow Kaduna to go the way Malam is going about it, it will be a terrible mistake. Because I think we should not underestimate the opposition this time around. Because we have made so many mistakes, and I think the earlier the party national leadership, under the national chairman, Chief John Eyegun, sends his deputy national chairman, Mr. Oni, to Kaduna for a quick reconciliation, and to also to advise the governor to stop some of his anti-party policies, anti-people's policies that are injurious to the party, then we will run into a serious problem. And I'm appealing to the national chairman to intervene in the case of Kaduna as quickly as possible.
Before we wrap up, if you're saying that the opposition should not be underestimated, perhaps the opposition has underestimated itself, because the former leader of the party, in the last dispensation, not the immediate past now, I'm talking about former President Olusegun Obasanjo, has written saying for the people to choose in 2019 between the APC and the PDP is like choosing between 6 and half a dozen. So where are the options for the people in 2019?
Well, as far as I'm concerned, I'm talking of Kaduna State. And I think we need to bring the APC back in government in Kaduna State. And for us to do that, I think we have to put Malam on the check as regards certain things that he's doing. It's not too late, but we have a very short time.
So you'd rather not speak to that letter?
Well, as far as I'm concerned, Obasanjo is entitled to his own opinion. I have tremendous respect for the former president. And I think I wouldn't like to comment much on that, because we're talking about the politics of Kaduna State. And it has nothing to do with the letter which he sent to Mr. President. And Rasul El-Rufai definitely is one of those that have written to Mr. President. So we have the OBJ's letter, we have Malam Nasru's letter, all to Mr. President. That's their own business. But how we are going to rescue the Kaduna State, this is what we're discussing, and we hope and pray the national leadership of the party must come down, because as I'm talking to you now, Malang has put a process of putting all his candidates to contest all elections without going through the due process of primaries. Malang has put a process to ensure that all the incumbent executives of the party from the ward to the state level are returned without any election. In party politics, you can only do that by consensus. And if he has to do that, he needs to bring all the critical stakeholders and agree, and that's what he doesn't want. And I think if he does that, and also stop some of the actions that he's doing, which majority of the people of Kaduna State are against, I think there's a window of hope that we might reconcile. But the ball is in his court.
Charity begins at home, and we wish you all the best in trying to sort out the squabbles within the Kaduna APC.
Don't
Thank
worry.
you very much.
Let me tell you, when you go to disco, you hear music. Without music, there's no disco. Thank
you very much for your time. That's how it's being on Fireworks today. We hope indeed that politics at the state level is amicable, especially the disputes within the Kaduna APC is resolved ahead of the 2019 general elections, and of course indeed at the national level and across board, across all parties. Join us again same time next week when we'll bring you another incisive edition of the program. I am Bukola Samuel Wemimo. Bye for now. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Bukola.